because the ends of it's all tore up. He's like, "Here, you want this?" I said, "Heck yeah, I'll take it."
That's funny. Awesome. Hey everyone, we're about to get started. We are doing our live blab show. What the hell happened? This is the show we do every Tuesday, every Friday, 10:30 Pacific, and we're talking about all the changes. What has been going on in the world of social online marketing? My name is Andrew McCauley from Autopilot Your Business, and of course, I have a co-host, and that is Will Hankey. G'day, Will.
Hello. How are you today?
I am just making you a co-host, so you are now a co-host. If you've just joined us, we have an open seat too. We've got a list of things that have happened in the last 3 days. Yes, a list of things that have been going on in the last 3 days. So if you are one of those people that want to join us, then we'd love you to be able to jump in and share your knowledge. I'm just going to get all the bits and pieces ready, the recording going. And I think we are good. You got 4 props already. You're a special. You've been propping yourself.
Yeah, I didn't do it myself, but that's a good idea.
I don't think it works, does it? No, you can't prop yourself. No propping yourself. All right, so let's kick this little baby off. What have you got? What's first on your agenda for the show today?
Well, let's talk about Blab real quick, since that's what we're using and we're on here. They've announced that you can now embed live blabs and replays right onto your website, which is a pretty cool thing. So I think it's an iframe that you can just pop right in there on a page. And there's also some talk about them making it where the next blab that you've scheduled automatically shows up on the page as the top one, which would be really cool. So you just embed it once, and it's always got your next one in line, which is pretty neat.
So how do we do that? If I wanted to embed this blab right now, or do you have to do it all in the setup?
You know what? It's I think after it's over, it gives you an option, or when you're setting it up, there's a thing that says embed this now.
Yeah.
It gives you the little iframe code. So I know you can do it for sure when you're setting it up. So if you're scheduling out 10 of them, as it is now, you're going to get 10 different iframes you have to post in. But at some point, they're going to give you probably some sort of JavaScript or something where it just automatically updates to the newest one.
And it just starts playing when it's ready. I wonder, do people have to refresh the page that you're on? I'm just thinking of all the problems we had with Google Hangouts when, you'd send people to a live page and then people sitting there going, "Hey, when are you starting?" And we'd already been starting for 5 minutes and they needed to refresh the page.
Right.
I wonder how they're going to attack that issue as well.
Yeah, like I said, they haven't released that part of it yet, but it will be cool. Hopefully it all works seamlessly. We'll see. Blab still is in beta, so.
Well, so is Gmail, isn't it? So I also noticed something else on the screen here. I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but I see a list of questions on the left-hand side now, as opposed to the right. So type a question in there for me, and let's just see what happens there if it pops up in the usual messages. No, there you go.
Yeah. So the other thing cool now is you can actually click on that what is going on, and I think it'll actually show up in the blab as the question that we're answering right now.
Oh, okay. So
see there. So now it shows up as here's what we're currently talking about on your screen there, which is kind of cool.
Interesting. So you answered that. Did you answer that and pin it? Did you?
I didn't. I just answered it. Yeah. So if you do pin again, which is it pops back up on the screen there, like that's what the current topic is.
Interesting. I wonder what happens when you've got 4 people in the frame there.
Yeah, that I don't know. It's interesting that you can actually do, instead of changing the topic each time, now that we're talking about blab, what if I did something like this? Of course, the people that are watching the replay can't see this, but I could actually put our current topic in there and then pop it up while we're talking about it, which is kind of cool. It's not really a question, but it does kind of give people an idea of what we're speaking about at that moment.
Yeah, interesting. We'll have to check that out. And I know this sort of popped up just the other day, so I noticed that was what's happening and people are talking about it, but I haven't actually had to play with it yet. So interesting. Very interesting. Okay, awesome. So that's any other changes in Blab this week? I mean, Blab's changing every day as well, as we know. Is there anything else?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing right now is the fact that we can embed these things.
Yeah, cool. All right, what else we got?
Let's talk about Boomerang. I think we talked about that on Tuesday, that it just came out. And there's already some different brands that are using it in some of their things. And I think you know a little bit more about this than I do.
Yeah, there's a couple of little brands already having a play with it. Benefit Cosmetics are already doing a little one. These now, if you haven't heard about Boomerang, Boomerang is a 1-second video app. You guys have been playing with it already, right?
Yeah,
1-second video app that lets you take a series of fast photos and then stitches them together in a little video format for about a second and then loops it over. Benefit Cosmetics is doing them with, they're applying makeup. I don't know how much makeup you can apply in 1 second, but she's done it. There's a show. There's a cooking show that has a video of a cooking demonstration sort of thing, and there's a Gold's Gym who's got a guy just flexing his muscles sort of thing.
Oh yeah, they called me.
Yeah, and you were busy, right? So they called me, and I said no. You get to get someone else with smaller muscles than me. And yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I think I had heard about Purina doing a little video of a dog jumping for a biscuit or something like that. Kind of interesting, to see what you can do in 1 second. But
yeah, really
playing with it.
Watch your space. The creative, clever people will come up with things to do in 1 second. So yeah, good. So that's Boomerang. So there you go. They're already started. I knew we knew it wouldn't take long for some clever people to jump on. What else we got?
Yeah. So speaking of Boomerang, real quick, it is an Instagram app, but it does not require you to actually have an Instagram account in order to use it. So you can use Boomerang outside of having Instagram, which of course is owned by Facebook. So
Boomerang's iOS and a Google app.
It is. Yes, I have it on Android.
Yep. Okay. Yep. I'll have a play with that. I'm going to go and do a 1 second video just for you, and I'm going to tag you in it.
Oh, okay. That'll work.
See how we go.
Yeah, there is some sharing options with that after you shoot your 1 second, which is basically 5 pictures taken in succession. Then it lets you share that on Instagram, of course, Facebook, and then you can click the actual share icon and put it in other places, including Dropbox, things of that sort.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. If you've just joined us, welcome aboard. We are talking about what's been happening in online and social in the last couple of days. We're talking about the Boomerang app. If you haven't heard of that, check it out. It's a 1 second video app. If you want to join us, we've got open seats. Jump on. We're talking about whatever's happening in the last few days. If you've come across things or you just want to jump on and join our Blab, we'd love you to be a part of it as well. So there is an open seat. Jump on in. Okay, what else we got there?
Facebook, since we're talking about Instagram, Facebook is now testing the local market, which is pretty interesting. What do you know about that?
Yeah, so, Facebook roll these things out in other countries, usually first New Zealand or Australia, somewhere like that. In Melbourne, my hometown, there's been reports of people looking at local market and a local market part of the app where you can, if there's anything for sale in some of the for sale groups, there's a lot of for sale groups out there, anything for sale, they grab it and they stick it in this little thing called local market. And you can browse by category. You can look at things like antiques, appliances, arts, electronics, furniture, clothing, whatever you like. And then you can message the person to buy it. So if you've got let's say you've got a pair of shoes for sale, and there's a big button that says message you to buy it. So I just send you a message and connect it and say, hey, I want to buy it. What are you going to charge me, sort of thing. I think what they're doing is they're gearing up for the payments war. I call it payments war because I think Facebook are making a big play right now to take over, companies like PayPal, not take over, but take a share of that money market, because they've already got built into their Messenger app the ability to share money between two people. If you can share money between two people at a cheaper rate than paying PayPal, for instance, then and you've got 1 billion 1.4 billion people on your platform, you're going to have some already existing customers that want to be able to share stuff. So they're really starting to bring back in this market of how do we share money? Okay, people aren't going to share money randomly. Like, I'm not going to share $50 with you over the phone. But if I've got something to sell you and you want to message me and we're connected through the Messenger app, bang, we can send it to you. And then here's the postage and here's the details, sort of thing. So I think it's an early play for what they're doing as far as the money platform goes.
Yeah, and it kind of eliminates the need for Craigslist too, which is an interesting thing. I mean, now I can find things that I need locally.
Yeah.
On Facebook, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you're already on the app, you're already spending time on there. It makes sense to go, well, I might as well keep looking for my shopping stuff as well. And it's a smart play by Facebook because now they want to start moving that money around and moving it between each other. And of course, they're going to take a percentage. So what better way to do it? They used to have the sale. I mean, way back when, I remember they used to have, I can't remember what the app was called now. It wasn't even an app. It was just their local marketplace anyway. Where you could buy and sell stuff on Facebook, and you could do that regularly. I used to teach that stuff, I think, way back in 2007, 2008. Yeah. I don't think they had to build too much to get it happening because it was already there. The infrastructure was already in the background. They just probably freshened it up and made it a bit more appealing in today's market, and bang, we're away.
Yeah, the other thing is, last week they announced the new search feature, which goes across other people's posts and things like that. So I can see how that could play into things as well. I'm looking for a blue widget, and then all of a sudden you start seeing related posts in your stream about blue widgets that are not people that you know. So there's, here's somebody that happens to have one for sale or something right in the middle as you're scrolling along. Yeah.
So, it's interesting to see that this whole dynamically changing internet is fast changing. It's suiting what you're looking for. We saw a play with LinkedIn buying out Lynda, the big online education platform, for $1.5 billion. Now we're seeing suggestions about topics that you've put in your LinkedIn profile that LinkedIn is saying, hey, did you know you can do a course on SEO, or there's a course on social media, would you like to check it out? And they're suggesting things that you've already told LinkedIn what you like. And I think you're right. Facebook can do the same thing. You type a message about blue widgets and bang, do you know Billy Smith's got blue widgets for sale? You're going to be seeing stuff everywhere about stuff you've put on Facebook. And
it's pretty fun to see these different apps try to, take more and more of your time, and solve problems at the same time.
Yeah, it is, and it's only the start of it. I really think we're at the start of some massive change in e-commerce.
Yeah. So let's stay on the topic of Facebook. We noticed in the last couple of days that there's something where you can do temporary profile pictures, which is pretty cool. It actually came out.
You know more about that than me. You sent me one, so tell me about that.
Yeah, it actually is something that they announced earlier in the month, where you can actually put up a temporary photo. Well, their reasoning is to support some sort of a brand or something. Mm-hmm. When the gay marriage thing went out and everybody had the profile pictures with the rainbow thing on it. Yep. So now I'm thinking they're just giving you the option to set that for a specific amount of time. And then after that amount of time, it goes away. So another example would be if you were rooting for one of the World Series teams.
Yeah.
Then you might want that up until the end of next week when the World Series is over. Then that just goes back to your default profile picture.
Especially if your team loses, right?
Yeah, kind of interesting. The other Facebook news was that they are talking about removing the other folder. So in the past, if you're getting messages from somebody who is not currently a friend or somebody you follow, it goes to that other folder, and a lot of people don't even know that they should check that folder.
Wait, there's another folder? What are you talking about?
So they're talking about getting rid of that, and all your messages are just going to go into your one inbox.
Oh, really? I saw someone mentioning that, and I didn't dig into it any further. I thought they were going to rename it for some reason, but I don't want that happening. That'd be just disgusting.
Yeah, it's all going to, from what I understand, it's all going to go into your main inbox now, and maybe
Wow. I
hopefully
hope
they
they
give
give
us
you a
some.
chance to filter that, because
Right.
that would do what I think messages is the equivalent of messages on Twitter. You know, it's just
Right.
that spam box of crap that comes through, and like, oh, do I really want to look through this bunch of messages, because none of them are actually relevant. So I hope they don't go that way, but maybe they're trying to weed out that whole messaging app. Well, that's weird. That means, I'm not liking it. Because
Yeah.
I think about it more, and if you've got notifications on your phone set to messages, and you get a message every time some spammer puts a thing in there, you'll be turning that off real quick. I think that's a bad move on Facebook's part.
Yeah, especially with all the talk about increasing the notifications for other things as well. So
Yeah, really.
yeah,
Wow. What else is Facebook doing this week?
that's about all we got on them. I don't think
Is that all? Only those few changes?
Well, since Tuesday.
pick your pace up, Facebook. Come on.
Yeah. So let's talk about National Geographic, the number one brand on social.
Yeah, National Geographic has been labeled the most social. I'm trying to find my little article about that now. The most socially shared brand in the last quarter, for quarter 3 this year. They had a 2% growth on engagement, which is not a lot, but they're ahead of the NFL. In fact, they're a long way ahead of the NFL. WWE, World Wrestling, I think it's World Wrestling. Is that World Wrestling, or is that the World Wildlife?
It could be either one.
That's a good question. NBA, MLB, MTV, Victoria's Secret, Fox News, and GoPro make up the top 10. So there you go. National Geographic are by far way ahead of the competition.
Huh. I don't follow them on Facebook. I do follow GoPro, though. I know you mentioned them. They've always
I follow GoPro. I just started following National Geographic on their Instagram account too, actually, and they got some good stuff on there as well. So I think they're doing a good job, because I think they're getting some user generated content just like GoPro. And I think that's a big secret there, is when you can start getting user generated content, you don't have to be having people out in the field snapping photos and stuff. GoPro, National Geographic are very visual things to be following. So yeah,
user generated content's always been a good thing. I mean, it's all the way down to comments on blogs. If you can get other people to comment and build content for you, it just makes sense.
Correct. Yes. So that's it. That's the little quick report on Nat Geo being the number one brand.
So earlier this week, we talked about YouTube Red, which came out, which was their subscription model. I think it's free for 30 days and then $9.99 a month to get some extra content, access to the Google Play Music system. But earlier I'm not sure when this was, but it went down. Let's see, on the 28th. So that was Wednesday.
A couple of days ago on its opening, people were seeing red. They wanted to see red, but they saw red in another way. And they were having trouble watching what's going on. They had an internal 500 error for a lot of people. They couldn't go and watch it. So not a good thing for YouTube. I don't recall many times that YouTube has ever been down.
Right.
I don't think I ever recall Google going down at all. So, maybe they had a lot of traffic to it, checking it out. But I'm also reading some reports about people are a little bit, I don't know if I'm getting I don't know if I'm getting value out of the money I pay for it. When I do go to a paid subscription, I don't think I'm getting much value out of it. So it'd be interesting to watch this space, what they do, how they try and, arrest that already.
Yeah, and something related that they just came out with yesterday was the Google Play, where you can actually submit your podcast to it now, and I'm sure that's going to kind of tie into that whole system as well. It's always been kind of difficult, specifically on an Android device, to get podcasts, to listen to them. So this might make things a lot easier. Plus, just think of the reach that you immediately, increase your podcast by being in Google Play.
Yeah, I'm surprised Google Play has taken so long to do this, but they've just announced the podcast. But you still can't do it yet. You're on a waiting list. You and I you and I both jumped on there for our podcast, but we've sort of been waiting for this. It's all been iTunes for podcasting all the way. Now they're making a play at jumping on and finally realizing that podcasting is a thing. I mean, podcasting has been around forever, and Google decided that people are listening to podcasts. Maybe we should get in on this act. So yeah.
I'm going to pop the link in here. It's g.co/podcast portal. If you do have a podcast and you want to go ahead and submit it to the Google Play system, looks like it's taken about 24 hours from the time that you submit it to the time that it is officially approved. And I submitted mine yesterday. Haven't seen an email about it yet. And I'm coming up on 23 hours. So expecting it to be approved shortly.
Yeah. So if you're submitting a podcast right now, and you've got a series, because you put your RSS feed in there, and you're submitting a feed that has, let's say, 10 podcasts previously posted, is it going to pull all of your podcasts down in one hit, do you think?
It did. It pulled in all 23 of mine.
So I got 102 on one of my podcasts, and that's going to just sort of fill up pretty quick.
I think there was a 100 limit. I think it said it went to 100.
The previous 100.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Thanks, Ed. Hey, good day, Ed. Nice to meet you. Thanks for sharing a little tweet bird out there. If you want to jump on, Ed, there's an open seat. Feel free to jump on. All right. What else we got on there?
By the way, speaking of the tell a little bird button, did you notice over there that there's one that says tell your aunt, and it's the Facebook one? Do you have that?
No.
On the left, I've got a button over here under the tell a little bird, and it says tell your aunt, and it's got the Facebook icon. If I click on that, it actually lets me post straight to Facebook about the blab as well.
I'm not seeing that. At all. So
I'm a little cooler than you are, I guess.
I've got the pause recording under there, so maybe that's what I'm saying.
I see pause recording too. Yeah, I've got two buttons, a Twitter and a Facebook now.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Got that,
okay, let's jump over to Twitter. It says now that you can. They've upped the limit. So in the past, when you got a Twitter account, you could only follow up to 2,000 people. Now they bumped that up to 5,000. Because who wants 2,000 people's worth of noise when you can get 5,000 people's worth of noise?
I'll tell you anyone that's new to the system and wants to grow their Twitter account fast, I guess.
Yeah. I think it'll help with the people that actually watch in return, that sort of stuff.
I think it's a big play. There's been a lot of talk about Twitter flatlining it for the last couple of months or year or so. Instagram has boosted past it. Snapchat's growth has been much more rapid than Twitter. You and I have both spoken about Jack Dorsey being now in charge and trying to grow that. And for more reports, he is having, he's cutting back on some of the staffing that he's got there, but they're now going to try and focus on how they grow the user base. And I think by including or increasing the number of 2,000 where you hit that ceiling to 5,000 could be, I don't know if it will be, could be an enticement for people to try and grow their list.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea is to follow people and hopefully get them to follow you in return.
Yes, that's the plan, as long as you got the targeted ones, right?
Right.
So Ed's put a little picture in here. I've seen this, and I haven't. I'm just trying to work out, Ed, what that is. Is that a blab? Is that a blab piece that's there? I'm not sure. And then
here he comes.
Here goes that. Let's go, Ed. All right.
We also saw David jump on too. So
it's an Easter egg, and it doesn't work all the time. But if you have another blab scheduled, that's from the comments. So not only can you subscribe, you can tell a little bird, you can put it on Tumblr, and you can put it on Facebook. I didn't get a really good screenshot of it yesterday because it happened so fast.
So what? So I'm just trying. So am I supposed to be able to subscribe from that image or not?
No. That's a screenshot of a chat I did yesterday where someone dropped the link to their show that was happening after ours. And that showed up. And when you hover over subscribe, there's also
Got it.
Twitter, to Facebook, and Tumblr.
Interesting. So if we had our show, if we were a little bit more prepared, and we had our next show for next week already ready, we could drop the link in there and people could subscribe directly from there.
Well, yeah, but it's not actually working all the time yet, but it does work.
Sometimes.
So, and they wouldn't answer it yesterday in the, what do you call it? In the town hall.
Oh, in the town hall. Yeah, right. Interesting.
So that happened yesterday, and then Tell Your Aunt just happened right now. So I'd say this is coming baked pretty soon. I don't have anything scheduled yet either to try it.
Are you seeing that, Ed? Are you seeing Tell Your Aunt now?
Yeah.
See, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. So,
and I just did. I just put it on Facebook for you.
I did. Awesome. Thank you.
You didn't get it. I know it doesn't show the notification, but
no, it doesn't.
David says he sees it as well. So
you might just have to refresh.
I won't do that while I'm recording. I won't do that. I might lose might boot me out of my own blab. But thanks for jumping in, Ed. We're just having a chat about all the things that are happening on social in the last 3 days. We do a and anyone else that's just joined, we do a regular call 10:30 on Tuesdays and Fridays, regular blab, just talking about what are the changes that have been going on online, and we'll cover anything and everything. And I know that let's see, David has just told us about submitting your podcast RSS feeds by hand back in the day. Yeah, that's right. You had to do that a long time ago, David. Thank God you don't do that anymore.
But yeah, that Twitter thing, you know what? It's funny. Everybody's making a big deal of it, but it's really not done anything for those of us who are power using Twitter.
Right.
And it surprises me that all the social media people who are making a big deal of it, I'm like, well, you could always follow 20% more than you followed. So, and I'm trying to pare down the people I follow to get rid of the noise and focus on the signal.
Absolutely.
So am I. And my mission is to unfollow all the people that are just dead accounts and not doing anything. And that's, rather than growing right now, I'm rather just trying to trim that extra fat that was there from a number of years ago.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is definitely targeted towards the newer users, trying to get people on there where they can load up their profile. And
yeah, definitely.
once they realize it's too much noise, like Ed says, they're going to start paring it down.
I think part of it is that Twitter is seeing a growth regardless of what the experts say, is because of all this live streaming. You can't join Blab or Periscope or any of the others without a Twitter account. The only one who used Facebook from the beginning, I think, was Hang With. And they really focused on a urban hip hop type crowd, which is where all of my live streaming base is. So I'm having a real hard time getting them to leave Hang With and come over to Meerkat or Periscope. So I just stay with Hang With. Plus I can charge for broadcasts.
Nice.
Yeah. What I was going to say was, I think the Twitter reports that are coming out right now are all based on Q3, which is, still not taking into effect the effects of Blab and that sort of stuff right now either. So,
or Jack Dorsey, really.
Yeah. So I think you're right. We're going to see some change on there, and it'll be interesting to see what they come up with and what figures they have for Q4. So
you want a little Twitter insight that's not coming out yet that I just know from a friend at Twitter?
Hey, this is what our program's for. We want to bring you the hard-hitting, fresh off the edge stuff here.
We're going to be able to be verified and pay like $5 a year to be verified. Just think about the number of legitimate people who are desperate to be verified and what kind of revenue that's going to bring in for Twitter.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That'll help kind of phase out some of the spammy accounts too, I think.
Right. So they're already actually doing that. I noticed a couple weeks ago, like for 3 days in a row, I lost hundreds of followers and they were all spam accounts. But so you're going to have to send, and this is just preliminary from my friend at Twitter, you're going to have to send your driver's license, your first kid, your driver's license. You're going to have your phone number connected, which I only have one mobile, so I already have mine connected. And there was one other thing, and you're going to have double authentication turned on. And so you're not going to be, unless you're a brand, a real brand like a Pepsi, Coke, whatever, you're not going to be able to have anyone else run your social media. How they would know, I don't know, but that's kind of where they're headed.
Well, I mean, LinkedIn has had that forever in their terms of service that you can't have somebody else running your LinkedIn account. Of course, people still do it, but it's something that LinkedIn have had for a long time too. So, yeah, but you're right. How are they going to know? I don't think they're going to know pretty much at all. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting with with an app like Buffer, which I use all the time, and my intern is the one that loads up the Buffer, which also goes out to LinkedIn. So I'm not actually posting things straight to LinkedIn. Somebody else is doing it. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Well, I work entertainment social media, so sometimes it's not the star that's posting. Yeah. Sometimes it's me. So right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that, because you've got the buffers, the social umphs, the Hootsuites that we all know that, most people, especially people with the blue check mark, they're not doing their own tweeting. There's very few that do their own tweeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting. All right. Well, I got to go talk at a travel agency tonight, so I got to go work on my travel summit out in La Quinta.
Thanks for popping in. I got your message on Twitter too, so thanks very much.
Yeah, so I left him a message. We'll see if it's still him or not.
Awesome. Thanks very much. Okay, take care.
We got one other piece of Twitter news, and that's the Twitter Brand Hub that they came out with. It's mostly for the bigger brands right now, but it's an expanded analytics package, which of course my brand is almost as big enough as, to be able to use it, but not quite yet. So don't know a whole lot about it beyond that.
It's funny. So I don't know much about that at all, so I haven't dug into that yet. So the Brand Hub, analytics for Twitter advertisers. Interesting to see how that goes. Do you use analytics on Twitter anyway? Do you check out?
I've never seen it.
They've got some really, really good analytics. If you get a chance and you're in your like sort of numbers, they've got some brilliant analytics that you can really find out a lot about who your users are, who your followers are, what they're doing, what they like, and that sort of stuff. So if anyone's using Twitter, jump on, check your analytics out. You need to start an advertising account. You don't have to pay anything, but once you've done that, you get the analytics kicking over straight away.
I do a lot of Facebook related ads, so it would be nice to see what that demographic was and if it lined up or how much it lined up with the Facebook crowd.
Yeah, well, jump in. I think they'll go back because I think they'll keep a track of your previous movement on Twitter. So you should check that out. Could be well worth it. What else we got before we wrap up? I think there's a couple more items we got before we go.
Almost out of time. I think, let's see, last thing I've got on here is that ESPN has pulled out of YouTube, which is kind of interesting. And this is all related to the YouTube Red subscription model. ESPN has pulled all of their content off of YouTube now.
Wow. All of their content. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And from what I understand, other advertisers are going to be doing the same thing because, now YouTube is making money off of their content without them having the option to make money as well.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting for a lot of brands that have been using YouTube heavily.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if maybe YouTube forgot to do the brand part of that where, they're going to do a revenue share or something.
Yeah.
Getting all these people to sign up, but all these brands are going to dump it before they realize that they could make money off of it too.
Who made that mistake, I wonder, down at Google? Big news. What else we got? Anything else before we wrap up?
I think that's it. I don't think we missed anything.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for jumping in. Here you go. He spoke to a major network. They're all talking about pulling out. CBS, for example, has their own app that costs $5 a month. Yeah, interesting to watch that space because they want to be making money all the time too. So if someone else is making money off their content, they won't be too happy at all.
Yeah. Can you imagine the decision behind pulling all of your content, especially a big brand like ESPN, to pull it all off of there? I mean, it's got to impact something. Yeah. Watch this space, I guess. Yeah. Interesting. Yep. Well, I think that's almost it. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We are doing this show every Tuesday and every Friday, 10:30 Pacific, 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern. And if you want to jump on, we would love to have you on our show. Just send us a message, or when the show's live, just jump in a seat. We've got open seats. We're talking about whatever's happening or what the hell happened over the last few days in social and online marketing. We range from anything from Twitter to random new social sites to all sorts of crazy things. So join us every Tuesday and Friday. We'd love to see you there.
And thanks, Will.
Yep, no problem.
We'll look for everyone on next Tuesday, 10:30 Pacific.